The media landscape has always been a battleground, but lately it feels like a full-on war zone where common sense is the ultimate weapon. Enter Karoline Leavitt, Donald Trump's new press secretary, who's not just stepping into the role, but rewriting the entire playbook. She's not here to play nice, dodge questions, or recycle tired talking points. Instead, she's flipping the script, calling out biases, and leaving reporters scrambling to keep up. Her approach is a masterclass in precision and confidence, turning every press briefing into a high-stakes showdown. The chaos that unfolds when she steps to the podium is nothing short of electrifying, and her latest moments in the spotlight are proof she's a force to be reckoned with. Take the recent dust-up over the Associated Press reporter barred from the Oval Office and the diplomatic reception room. The decision sparked a firestorm, and Leavitt didn't hesitate to address it head-on. During a briefing, she made it clear, access to the president is not a right, it's a privilege. Her words cut through the noise with surgical precision. It is a privilege to cover this White House. It's a privilege to be the White House press secretary. Nobody has the right to go into the Oval Office and ask the President of the United States questions. That's an invitation that is given. She didn't stop there, pointing out that hundreds of outlets on the White House campus don't get daily pool access, and the administration reserves the right to decide who enters the Oval Office. The Associated Press, she noted, still had credentials to be in the briefing room, so the whining about exclusion was overblown. Leavitt's response wasn't just a defense, it was a reminder of who's in control of the narrative now. The AP didn't take kindly to the move. Their executive editor fired off a letter to the chief of staff, claiming the decision was plainly intended to punish the AP for the content of its speech and vowing to vigorously defend their constitutional rights and the public's right to independent coverage. The outrage was predictable, but Leavitt didn't flinch. She's not playing the media's game of victimhood. Instead, she's calling out their selective indignation and forcing them to confront their own biases. The public, she implied, isn't buying the martyr act anymore. Trust in legacy outlets like the AP has plummeted, and people are turning to alternative sources for unfiltered information. Leavitt's approach is a direct challenge to the old guard, and they're not ready for it. Then there was the moment when the ape decided to pick a fight over something as seemingly trivial as the name of a body of water. They refused to adopt the administration's designation of the Gulf of America, clinging to the traditional Gulf of Mexico. Their reasoning? It's been called that for 400 years, and international bodies haven't approved the change. Leavitt wasn't having it. She laid out the facts with a cool confidence that left no room for debate. It is a fact that the body of water off the coast of Louisiana is called the Gulf of America. The Secretary of Interior has made that the official designation in the Geographical Identification Name Server. Apple has recognized that. Google has recognized that. Pretty much every other outlet in this room has recognized that body of water as the Gulf of America. Her point wasn't just about a name. It was about the media's stubborn refusal to adapt when facts shift. The AP's stance wasn't about journalistic integrity, it was about control, and Leavitt exposed it without breaking a sweat. The press room chaos reached new heights when a CNN reporter tried to corner her with a loaded question about immigration. Leavitt's response was a verbal knockout. The reporter asked about the 3,500 ISIS-related arrests made since Trump's return to office, wanting a breakdown of how many had criminal records versus those who were just in the country illegally. Leavitt didn't miss a beat. All of them. Because they illegally broke our nation's laws, and therefore they are criminals as far as this administration goes. She went on to highlight the shift in perspective from the previous administration, which downplayed illegal border crossings. It's a big culture shift in our nation to view someone who breaks our immigration laws as a criminal, but that's exactly what they are. The room went silent. The reporter had no comeback. Leavitt didn't just answer the question. She reframed the entire conversation, forcing the press to confront their own assumptions. This wasn't just a one-off. Leavitt's ability to turn gotcha questions into opportunities to expose media bias is her signature move. When another reporter tried to trip her up over border statistics, she calmly pointed out the 90% drop in illegal crossings since Trump took office, a fact backed by sources like the New York Post but conveniently ignored by outlets like CNN and MSNBC. Crisis? You mean the one we solved? She quipped, leaving the reporter grasping for words. The silence that followed was deafening, a testament to her ability to shut down narratives with facts and a smile. It's not just that she's quick on her feet. She's rewriting the rules of engagement, making it clear that the days of unchallenged media spin are over. Leavitt's not just taking on reporters, she's calling out the broader ecosystem that protects them. When NPR published an editorial claiming to be above the political fray, she didn't let it slide. If you're truly independent, why are your editorial decisions always leaning one direction? She asked, citing NPR's history of skewed election coverage, soft interviews for Democrats, and hit pieces on conservatives. The room had no response. Not a single reporter challenged her, because the receipts were undeniable. She went further, slamming the media's obsession with identity politics over policy. They're more interested in labeling people than listening to them, she said, pointing out how reporters' questions were often laced with assumptions designed to spark controversy rather than uncover truth. Leavitt didn't just dodge the bait. She turned it back on them, exposing their bias in real time. One of the most viral moments came when a reporter accused her of dodging a question. Leavitt's response was pure gold. She smiled and said, "You didn't like the answer because it wasn't the one you came for." The room froze, cameras flashed, and the clip was all over X within minutes. It was a masterclass in staying cool under pressure while flipping the script. Leavitt isn't just defending the administration. She's making it fashionable to call out media nonsense in real time. Her influence is reshaping the media game, and the old guard is struggling to keep up. Then there was the bombshell about Politico. Leavitt revealed that $8.2 million in taxpayer money had been funneled to the outlet through federal agency subscriptions to their Elite Pro plan, a service offering policy deep dives and insider access for Washington players. Some of these subscriptions cost up to $15,000 a year. Politico's defense? We have never received any government funding. No subsidies, no grants, no handouts. Technically true, but Leavitt wasn't buying the spin. It's still public money getting rerouted into their pockets, she said, exposing the cozy relationship between media outlets and government insiders. The Doge team, she added, was already working to cancel those payments as part of a broader effort to scrub waste from federal spending. The math alone was staggering. How many subscriptions does it take to hit $8.2 million? Leavitt's point was clear. This isn't journalism. It's a business model built on institutional connections. The press room erupted into chaos as reporters shouted over each other, but Leavitt stayed calm, handling the frenzy like a seasoned pro. She shut down interruptions with a firm but polite, "Let's act like adults here." Her ability to maintain control while dismantling narratives is what makes her so effective. She's not just a spokesperson. She's a problem for any outlet hoping to coast on spin alone. And she's not stopping at individual reporters or outlets. She's taking aim at the entire system. Leavitt's next target was the so-called fact-checkers, those self-appointed arbiters of truth who seem to disproportionately target conservatives. When you're funded by the same people you're supposed to fact-check, how is that objective? She asked, pointing out how their corrections often read like opinion pieces dressed up as journalism. She highlighted a case where a viral but accurate claim was slapped with a missing context label simply because it didn't fit the narrative. That's code for "we don't like how this sounds," she said, and the reporters couldn't argue. Her knockout line? If fact-checkers were doing their job, they'd be too busy correcting the White House transcript to go after memes. The room went quiet, and the point landed hard. Leavitt wasn't just calling out bias. She was exposing how the system protects itself. Her final power move came at the end of her first briefing when she took a direct shot at Joe Biden. No hesitation, no sugarcoating. She called out his mixed messages, staged appearances, and the confusion that seems to follow him everywhere. "We don't need a president who reads from cue cards. We need one who can lead without them," she said. The room froze. Reporters scribbled furiously, but no one had a comeback. It was a brutal, brilliant close that left no doubt. Leavitt isn't just surviving the lion's den, she's taming the lions.